So, hey Libra, my name is Chris, and this is your beautiful reading for whenever you find it. And it's not one of my usually super long videos. I'm ending up making half an hour card readings. These are still there. Check it out if you like them. But this is a fairly short 3-card reading. The Wheel of Fortune, the Tower, and the Ace of Cups. Okay, there's the Lovers at the bottom of the deck, my friend. So let's just unpack this. The Wheel of Fortune, the Tower, and the Ace of Cups. What is this all about? Finding loves, finding self-respect. That's the outcome, right? You rediscovering yourself, you loving yourself, respecting yourself, tapping back into your true, authentic self. And everything you do with the Ace of Cups, right? With the Ace of Cups, everything you do is just connected to your true essence, right? Who you truly are, and it is the highest expression of what you can do, which is one of the best cards in the tarot deck, right? And then we have one of the most feared cards of the tarot deck, the Tower, right? Lightning strikes, but the Tower is not very comfortable when you experience it, but the Wheel of Fortune is here as well, so this is kind of meant to be. So whatever, there's a structure here that is very tight, and it's kind of confining, is that the word, limiting your, it's almost like your heart is trapped somehow, and this is the heart, this is the emotional energy, this is the authentic, deeper you, right? The essence of your being, basically. And that wonderful essence of your being that wants to overflow, that wants to express itself, right? That wants to come out, is kind of trapped somehow in a structure that is just too tight. That's the Tower. And this structure is kind of almost like a prison to you. This is stroke by lightning, right? It's just destroyed. But the Tower is always not just distraction, but there's a crown on top of that Tower, right? There's a false idea, right? That is kind of coming down, that is limiting you, and there's the Wheel of Fortune. And bottom of the deck, right, is the Lovers, and underneath that there's the Ten of Pentacles, and underneath that there's the Sun card. So I wanted to do only 3 cards, right, but it looks pretty good here. There's the Lovers, right? So freeing your heart, freeing your life, freeing yourself from something that is too tight, that is toxic maybe. That could be relationships, right? People who don't treat you right. People who you allow to treat you wrong, right? So there's always, we're always participating in this to some extent at least, right? Not always, there are situations where this is completely forced upon to us, but usually under normal circumstances, we're kind of allowing people to treat us the way they treat us, right? If we do not stand up for ourselves, if we do not speak our truth, even if our voice is shaking, if we do not say no to situations and relationships and treatments and interactions that are just not right for us, that are just not good for us. So sometimes we get entangled in these toxic situations, narcissistic abuse, right? And it is the time to end this. There's an old version of yourself. That's the hell of a combination. Let's just take the second card, just to 3 clarifiers. Yeah, there's the World card. Beautiful endings, right? And then there is the Four of Cups. So you have a choice here. There is the Wheel of Fortune with the Ten of Swords. This is an old version of yourself, one that kind of suffered from being mind fucked. Can we say this? I wanted to curse a little less, but it's so much easier to do it in a foreign language. I said that before, but it's still true. And the Ten of Swords is the old version that needed to die, basically, right? That's the Ten of Swords with the Wheel of Fortune. What old version? Think about the last 10 years, the last 9 years cycle. This cycle is totally over in 2026. What did you lose in the last 9 years? Maybe now is the time, it's the ending of this last 9 or 10 year cycle. Wheel of Fortune, right? There's a version of yourself attached to that old structure that is just completely over because it was completely limiting your own potential, and you got something out of it that is very, very valuable, very, very wonderful. And that is the Ace of Cups. That is self-respect. That is loving yourself. Clarified by the Four of Cups. So this blessing that comes out of all that, you might not yet realize it fully because there's the Four of Cups, and the Four of Cups is literally, there's that guy under the tree focused on kind of the past, but he already got the 3 cups in front of him, and the universe is handing that cup out of that cloud to him, and that cup out of the cloud is the Ace of Cups, right? And literally the Four of Cups is clarifying the Ace of Cups. So the Ace of Cups, that's the prize. That is yourself, rediscovering yourself, coming from a very toxic situation or relationship that you might have lost. And the structure that was built around that toxicity is just over, is just done. And with that, there's an old version of yourself that was kind of participating in that toxicity, that was kind of enduring that toxicity, that was kind of saying yes when you meant no and things like that, right? And that is over. And that is, there's the Wheel of Fortune that needed to be over because the universe wants to free you and wants to give you love. There's the Lovers. But you can only receive a healthy, beautiful love if you love yourself, right? If you truly, wholeheartedly love yourself, not just the lovey-dovey part, all of it, right? And if you can truly love yourself, you're attracting people who are on the same frequency, who truly love themselves as well. All of it. Light and shadow aspects, because there is no light that does not cast a shadow. That's just the world we live in. That's duality, hopefully Trinity, But this is how it works. You have to love yourself. And if you truly love yourself, you do not agree to situations that limit your potential. And the Tower is representing this limiting structure that is kind of imprisoning you, right? That's limiting your potential. And this needed to come down because it was just not right for you, because you could not breathe in that. You could not live in that. And the old version that did live in that tower, you needed to go because there were false ideas attached to that older version of yourself. And these old belief systems, these old narratives about yourself, they got disappointed. And with that leaving behind of the old version of yourself, that old, I'm not good enough, right? Maybe I deserve to be treated like that. That old version that was subservient to toxicity, the narcissist, toxic antagonistic people, just allowing things to happen. This old version needed to die, and with it, the structure that was built upon that needed to come down in order to free yourself and allow yourself to be fully you again. Because only if you're fully you, if you love yourself, if you respect yourself, then you're going to attract other people on the same frequency. And then you can build something so much more beautiful than that stupid old tower, right? You don't need a crown. You need a heart. You need a soul, right? Fuck the crown. Go for the heart, go for the soul, and take all of your beautiful ideas and build something new. And that freedom, you might be in a situation where you think, oh my God, the last 9-10 years, what the F, right? I lost so much. It was such, horrible stuff that happened and so much narcissistic abuse and I lost this and that, right? You can mourn that all day, but you can focus your attention now on what you have gained. If you're resonating with this channel, you did not sell your soul to the devil, right? You did not become a narcissist. You did not push others down in order to give yourself the false sense of elevation, what all the weak losers do, right? Right? That's just disgusting. And maybe you build a structure in their system because that was just the system that you were put into, right? So you had to somehow make your way out of it and make the best of it to some extent. But that structure that was interwoven with these toxic ideas, with these toxic people, needed to come down in order for your heart to breathe again, right? To overflow again with just being you, right? So it's a good reading, but can you see it? With the Four of Cups, usually it might take you a while, but give it some thought. You lost something, but that what you lost, what's left is enough, and that what you lost was not right for you. It was not, in essence, it was not you. It was a false version that kind of adapted to a toxic environment. And that toxic environment and the structures that were built on the basis, on the foundation of that toxic environment, that had to collapse in order for you to come back to yourself. And that's the Ace of Cups. The Ace of Cups is wonderful, right? That's just really, really good. And there's the Wheel of Fortune, so it was meant for you. Because what you lost is not, you deserve better. That's how it is. One thing, one person, one conversation at a time. One thing at a time. Maybe you try to do, maybe you try to be several things at the same time. What if you started loving yourself the way you wanted them to love you? What if you started loving yourself the way you wanted them to love you? Very important, don't let your sexual taste be the filter by which you allow people into your life. For someone out there, definitely. Society is like a stew. Good old Edward Abbey. Society is like a stew. If you don't stir it up once in a while, then a layer of scum floats to the top. For someone out there, right? And let's just see what else we got. Systematically root out people in your life who use you, lie to you, put you down, disrespect you, or I might add, put others down as well. Systematically root out people in your life who use you, lie to you, put you down, or disrespect you. And maybe you did that. And maybe these people were so much interwoven with the structures that you built in the last 10 years that these structures just collapsed. And you had to leave them behind to come back to yourself. Stay away from people who put others down. That's for sure. Let's just take this one. And there's one more, because I just love this so much. If anyone asks you what Jesus would have done, remind them that flipping over tables and chasing people with a whip is within the realm of possibilities. Number 9, my friend. Memories. Okay, let's just do memories. Yeah, makes sense, right? Healing. Welcome to a time of deep reflection and healing. Let go, relax, and be grateful for the many blessings in your life. Over the coming days, you may find yourself reflecting on the past. Allow these memories to surface like precious jewels on an ocean of light as you revisit times of sorrow, laughter, pain, joy, family, friends, and loved ones. You hold precious moments in your heart, pearlescent drops of joy and sadness that flow like blessed summer rains. Life is a gift. Every moment is a miracle. The light and love we each hold in our hearts are part of an eternal story. As you spiritually connect with those you love and all who have been part of your journey, be reminded that all on earth may come and go, but love is forever present. And you tapped into that love, and it always starts with self-love, right? And then you can give and receive love on exactly the same level, on exactly the same frequency that you have for yourself. But if you don't love yourself, you cannot really love other people. And you had to find the self-respect by bringing down and dismantling these old structures and these toxic versions of yourself that kind of try to fit into these toxic structures. So you had to leave that behind. Destiny, Wheel of Fortune, because you deserve the Ace of Cups. And the Ace of Cups was kind of hidden in that tower, so the tower had to come down. Because you deserve love. So this is a blessing in disguise. And I ask you to reflect on the last 9-10 years. What have you lost? And what have you gained? Now, but that's all I got, right? I wanted to make a shorter video. So share, like, subscribe, leave a comment, let me know what you think about it. And check out there are longer readings, not time specific. Then there's spring reading and the 2026 yearly reading. Check this out as well. Hopefully see you next time. Now, my friend. Ciao.